for Sean Mackey to strike! It's Calvin Miller against McGowan. Miller sends it in! It's Miller time, baby! Champions again! Falkirk have broken through the glass ceiling! After 15 years in the wilderness, Falkirk Football Club is once again a Premiership club!
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall, we're navy blue, are you?
Finally! Falkirk are returning to the Falkirk Stadium. God, how long has it been since that Dundee United game? But the Bairns are back in FK5 and ready to take on the buddies of St Mirren. And here we are, ready to talk about it. I am John McAnally, and welcome to Falkirk Daft, your unofficial Falkirk FC podcast. And I'm joined, as ever, by the junior god of pod himself, the one-man band in the main stand, Ross Wayne.
Good evening, sir. Well, actually, it's officially still good afternoon for a bit, and then
it's afternoon for a bit into the evening. You can see if you're watching on the video version, I'm currently in my workspace, nipped off in my lunch break to record this. So there we go. Ross, how are you?
All right, mate. As you said, it's been a hell of a long time since that Dundee United game. What's that, about 5 weeks, roughly? Yeah. So yeah, it's been ages.
I think this, in terms of a season, this must be the longest we've gone without a home league game.
Yeah, absolutely. Apart from the usual sort of closed season and stuff, and then these international breaks are not ideal. Obviously, in the lower leagues and the Diddy leagues, you just played on regardless. But
exactly.
And the big boys leagues, I noticed Dunfermline were playing last week. That was nice for them. But in terms of ourselves, yeah, we've got all these breaks, so it's not ideal. And then we've got another one next week.
I know, you just want to see football, and it just feels so. Like I say, I've not seen a league game at home because I've not seen a league game this season because I missed Livingston, I missed Aberdeen, missed Dundee United. So
you're back for this one. You're
back for this one. First league game of the season, as obviously St Mirren. We're going to be speaking to a guy called Ross Turnbull, season ticket holder at the Smyser Stadium. He's going to be giving us a lowdown in St Mirren just in a bit. But let's just get into some of the club news that we have gone on since our last recording. Ross, Owen Hayward has left the club to pursue a medical career. Good on Owen.
Good on him. Yep. I believe his dad is a surgeon. So Owen is obviously following in his dad's footsteps, which is good to see. But listen, from what I saw of him, he looked a very competent young goalkeeper. I believe he is still going to be between the sticks at a certain, I don't know which club. I saw Cowdenbeath mention that he's leaving Cowdenbeath, but he's going to another Lowland League club. Maybe another local team. I know Cowdenbeath's not the end of the world. Probably just feels like it. But yeah, I think obviously we don't know where Owen's going to end up, but full-time career in medicine, I'm sure that's going to be potentially a better paid job. And
I would think it probably is, but he could have kept on part-time, obviously, like the good doctor Kenny Duca. It could have been the good doctor Owen Hayward. If he'd kept on his football career. But I mean, good luck to him. He seems like a lovely young man. So, and like you say, probably getting it. If you've got the brains to get into the medical profession, there's probably a bit more money in it than being third choice keeper at Falkirk.
I would say so, and he will be able to do that thing though, where he's like, if he's going to be a surgeon, like he'll be able to go, and if he's still going to be a keeper, he can tell his patients, "Oh, you're in safe hands here," and then just bring out the gloves.
Very true. It's very true. Congratulations to Dylan Tate. He's been voted August Player of the Month. That's 2 in a row for Dylan now. Well deserved, Ross.
Massively well deserved. I think he's been phenomenal since
settled in the Premier League really, really well.
He has. He's not alone either, but I think he has been a very, very consistent player. I know that I saw a couple of people replying to the post saying, "Oh, he had a few moments last year." Well, that's last year. We're in the Premiership. He's played. He can only do what he's doing, which is playing against some of the best teams in the country, and he's started very, very well. So really chuffed for him. He's such a nice guy. Spoke to him at the Manicky towards the end of the season. Just after the end of the season, and comes across really, really great guy. Head screwed on as well, and I'm so chuffed that he started the way he has.
Any other contenders?
As I say, a few. I think Leo McCann was
I
probably
was going to
would
say
have had
Leon. I was going
a
to say
good chunk of
Leon's.
votes.
Yeah.
From the league games so far as well. Keelan Adams has been a bit of a standout at points. Brad Spencer's been really consistent. Ross McKeever's done well in the games he's played, but for consistency in minutes, I can totally understand why Dylan's been given the nod.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Aside from that, I think the Falkirk Golf Day happened the other day there, so I'm sure everybody got plenty of gossip out there in the golf course playing with the players. You heard anything yourself?
Yeah, because that was last week, wasn't it? I believe the only person that wasn't there that was due to be there was John McGlynn because it was deadline day at the Falkirk Stadium, so he was otherwise engaged from that perspective. I have spoke to a couple of people that were playing, just nothing out of the ordinary. Just talking about like obviously it was so close to players coming in and talking about the deals that had happened. So yeah, just I think stuff like that. I always think, see, when you get a little bit of an insight into the squad or the staff as well, because bear in mind it's not just the players. I think as we talked about Gary Murray, who was guest pundit earlier in the season, he was there, and he didn't have a player with him, but he had the physio, which was even better because he got all the gossip from in terms of who's coming back and when. So I think stuff like that that's why you pay that little bit extra money for if you can afford to do so and get along to these events, and it supports the academy as well, which is obviously a hot topic.
Yeah, talking of the events there, they've launched the Falkirk Events brand, which is going to support the academy, and that's going to include obviously the Heritage Seas events that have been happening at the Vaultful Bar, speakers nights, fan zone events, and the golf days as well. There's going to be more coming from that. Obviously, we've got the fan zone set up there, so looks like they'll utilise that a wee bit more and get some more money in for the academy. The other thing that happened this week is the board update, and our good board update. We talked about the communication. I think I've been a little bit critical in the past of the lengthy board updates, but this was quite well done. It's quite succinct, put into little segments. I quite enjoyed that.
It was really fascinating again, and I noticed there was a lot of, just before we talk about the content, I noticed there was a lot of football fans who were and Celtic
A lot
fans
of Celtic supporters, funnily enough, after that statement, and the board must like, because obviously it's been planned to go out Monday. It's been written, it's been planned to go out, and then you saw that statement at the weekend. And a lot of Celtic supporters have retweeted it, going, "This is how you do a statement. You own up to some mistakes. You give communication. You let everyone know what's going on." So hats off to obviously the media team. I expect Stuart maybe was behind that statement. So, but
I would suggest Stuart. Yes, I think it would have been written by Stuart Adam and obviously approved by the rest of the board as well. But as you said, John, in terms of the content, really, really thorough update, not just on the playing side, but off the pitch as well. That followed up the Club's own podcast that went out towards the end of last week, which Scott Henderson from Crunchy Carrots and Sean and Jamie were on. Really, again, a really good update around all things commercial, what's available, what's working well, what they're working on. I saw Sean mention, I think it was maybe mentioned in the board date update as well. They're going to go, if they can, really very digital in the stadium, loads of TV screens everywhere and big screen in the stadium as well, which is always going to be kind of cool. So yeah, just a really brilliant update. The East Stand was talked about too, so obviously they can't go into too much detail about it, but just that the plans are there. They're looking for an investor or investors to help push that along. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, good. Before we get into Bertie Connor, shout out to Stevie Gibson, friend of the podcast. He's been on this before. He coaches the Falkirk Football Fans and Training Women's Development Team, and it's champions again. Ole, ole. They won the Scottish Women's Recreational League. So well done to Stevie and all the girls, and well done to obviously the Falkirk women as well, still smashing it.
Undefeated. I know. Yeah, Stevie does keep us updated of the development team and sends us on some pictures, and we will definitely use the group photo as part of our socials this week as well. So no, wasn't that amazing? Yeah, Stevie's such a lovely guy as well, well-known Falkirk fan, and as you said too, in terms of the senior women's team, just absolutely flying. They didn't have a game at the weekend, just with it being the international weekend, but I know they have some big games coming up this month as well.
We'll keep you informed of that on the podcast and on our socials. Follow us at Falkirk Daft on Twitter or Instagram. You'll get all the details there if you don't follow the Falkirk women already. Listen, birthday corner, quick dive into that. Not many birthdays this week, Ross, but we do have one.
Last week and hardly any this week.
We said this was the Christmas time babies. This is the Christmas shags coming out. We've only got one this week.
And on that note, happy 16th birthday to Jessica Wayne.
Happy 16th to Ross's daughter, Jessica.
The telly must have been broke 16 years ago. 16 years, 9 months ago. Happy birthday to my eldest daughter, Jess. She's not the biggest of Falkirk fans now. However, I did say I was going to embarrass her on the podcast. So I
do hope none of our schoolmates or anyone that is listening to this podcast and clips that up for Jessica. Nothing more embarrassing to a 16-year-old than her dad saying, I got it on with your mom on Christmas. Also, happy birthday to Flynn McDonald. He'll be 6 on the 17th of September. Don't listen to that last bit of fun. Lots of love from Dad, Stuart, Uncle Keith, Grandma and Evie. And also an extra mention to his little sister Holly, who'll be attending her first ever Falkirk game on Saturday. Amazing.
Amazing. I love it.
Brilliant. What an experience. Hopefully she'll be a lucky mascot and hope it's the first of many. Have a great day from all the family. And I'm sure our original Falkirk Dafty grandpa will be watching on above with a big smile. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that's what's happening in Birthday Corner. In terms of birthdays, we're recording just now on the 9th. And you know who's 2 big birthdays today, Ross? 2 massive birthdays for Falkirk players. One, and I can't believe they share a birthday. Pedro Matinho is 46 today. We're recording this on the Tuesday. There you go. And he shares his birthday with none other than his gaffer, Yogi Hughes. So 61. Happy birthday to both Pedro and Yogi. Brilliant.
Love it. No, we spoke to Yogi recently at Falkirk Daft Live, who was so funny. So, and hopefully he's going to come along to the Hibs game in a couple of weeks' time. That would be amazing to see him back at Falkirk Stadium. But no, I didn't know about Pedro. So 46, Christ, I feel old. Even just Pedro being 46, to be honest.
I know. On the 10th, it's Neil Ingles, former goalkeeper. I think he was the second choice goalkeeper for a long time at Falkirk Stadium.
Yes, is that Neil Ingles, who was also... where else was he? Was
Rangers.
Was it Rangers? Sorry, yeah.
I think we got him from Rangers, actually. He ended up at us, and he was second choice to, I think, Tony Parks for a long time.
Right.
And then lots of birthdays on the 11th of X. Bairns. Wayne Foster, remember Wayne Foster, striker, 62. Kieran McInnesby, who I think you probably know him best for that season Local View, the Local View season. He's 46. Kevin McCann.
Don't recognise that name.
I think he only played a handful of games. Dale Fulton, obviously one of the Fulton boys.
Yeah, the lesser Fulton brother. Yeah.
There was 3 Fulton brothers. I think they were all on the cards at Falkirk at one point.
Yes, they were.
Dale ended up still in Albion. Albion. Retired from the game in about 2015. Jay's obviously still playing. And I can't remember the name of the third Fulton boy.
I think the third one was a goalkeeper, wasn't he?
Was he? I think maybe he was. I think you're right.
Oh, Tyler.
There you go. Nailed it. We should get Stevie Fulton on for a Falkirk Daft Live.
He would be amazing. He would be brilliant. He would.
Absolutely. We should note that one down. And Tommy Robson, who's still kicking a ball as well in Scotland. Tommy Robson turns 30.
He's Queen's Park still, isn't he?
I don't know if he is now. I think he moved clubs. I think he was at Clyde the last time I checked.
Oh, no, I think you're right. Sorry, beg your pardon. I think you're right. Yeah. I think he has.
And one and only on the day of the St Mirren game, turning 32, Will Vokes is 32 on Saturday.
Still love to see Will back at Falkirk. Could it happen full circle? You never know.
I don't know if we could afford Will now, but if you want to check our interview out with Will, we've got that on our podcast feed and also YouTube as well. So check that out. Our full interview with Will Vokes, which we did about a year and a half ago now. Jesus. Seems a long time ago. But listen, that's all the birthdays. So happy birthday to all the Bairns out there, even if you haven't put it forward to Birthday Corner. And let's now thank our sponsors behind the wall. Stay local, eat and drink global. Falkirk Daft Venom is still on sale. And of course, They have Falkirk's best selection of fine wines, lagers, craft and cask ales, and great value food and great service as well. Always brilliant and behind the wall. Did you come back with your favourite Bondi song this week? Your homework was favourite punk song, favourite Bondi song. You've not done your homework, have you?
Done my homework. No, sorry.
Punishment exercise. Back to
yeah,
the
give me a
10
bunny yellow sheet
after the podcast, that's for sure. So Sunday Girl Bondi tribute are in there this Friday if you're listening to this before 12th of September, and the punk night is happening this Saturday. So after the St Mirren game, get yourself up for the class of 79 up behind the wall. Get that mohawk out, get that pin, get that denim jacket, cut off denim jacket on the go, the ripped jeans, and I'm sure you'll see a couple of Bairns well-kent faces up there. I'm looking at the Steel Brothers. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there for that. So that's the punk night happening behind the wall upstairs on Saturday. And if any more events, you want to see what's going on at Behind the Wall, check out behindthewall.co.uk. Right, let's get into the St Mirren game. It is happening at Saturday. As I say, first game in 5 weeks back at the stadium. And let's speak to a St Mirren supporter. As a guy who is St Mirren Daft, I work beside him in radio. This man is Ross Turnbull.
How are we all?
Yeah, Ross, how you doing?
Not too bad. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thanks for coming on. See, he works in radio. He's got a lovely sounding mic there. So that's what we like to hear. Because sometimes people come on, Ross, they've got terrible mics, but I knew you would come in with the goods.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared, haven't you?
Absolutely. So it's been such a long time since we played St Mirren. Do you know, right, Ross, when was the last time we played them and what was the score? Looking at your plan and pack in front of you.
Yeah, is it in the league we're talking though?
Yeah.
Oh, 2015, 2016, something like that?
No, 2018. Alex Smith's last game at Falkirk. That was his retiral game. We beat them 1-0 in the last game of the season. Ryan Blair scored. Remember, we sold him to Swansea like we did all our players and we got him back on loan.
I do remember that.
Ryan Blair's doing himself these days.
I've purged that result from my memory.
I bet you did. I mean, looking down the head-to-head, I mean, it's pretty much... It's surprisingly, and I grabbed this off footy stats, in the last 12 matches, Falkirk have won 7 and St Mirren have only won 1.
Yeah, we've been in a bit of a draw slump. Obviously, the first game of the season we lost to Celtic, but apart from that, it's been draws and draws and draws.
Well, I mean, that's just the head-to-head against Falkirk, you know, and I'm really surprised to see that, Ross Wayne, because I always thought we struggled against St Mirren.
And in the most recent campaigns, I would have thought we would have done, but yeah, that kind of shocks me as well, because that sort of 2015, 2016 period, we shared the championship with them before we both went our merry ways. St Mirren went up the way, and well, we'll not talk where we went, but yeah, no, that stat does surprise me actually. However, as Ross just said the other now, it's the two clubs probably are not too far away from each other on the pitch, but off it the last few years, St Mirren have been kind of rocking on in the Premiership, and I think we have to try and look to them to see if that is what we can hopefully achieve in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's two clubs very sort of similar in sizes, Ross. As a St Mirren supporter, you know, what do you put down the success? I mean, that's 3 top 6 finishes. You got into Europe. I mean, how has it been? Stephen Robinson, it's been the build from Jim Goodwin. How do you assess St Mirren in the last few years since returning to the Premiership?
I think it's definitely been a combination of things. Stephen Robinson come in, he steadied the ship. He has a style of play. He knows the kind of players he wants. But I think the big thing that has kind of transformed the club especially is going fan ownership. The Smiza group taking control of the club, having a say, knowing exactly where the money's being spent, what's happening with the academy, what's happening with the young players. That has laid the foundations for everything, as you're saying, Europe, top 6, hopefully a Scottish Cup run. But yeah, that's kind of where things have been the last couple of years especially.
Interesting that, because obviously we've been on from a different starting point, but we've obviously on that journey now as well, Ross. We're 3 is this the 4th season in with our fan ownership, and as you've said, it's sort of coincided with our best sort of run of on-field performance for 10, 15 years. So that bodes well for us too, hopefully, in that regards, because we are, as you said, John, we are very similar in terms of structure, crowd numbers. I listened to the club's podcast last week, and I think Jamie talked about how he met up with. Sorry, Ross. I want to say, is it Keith Lasley who used to be there?
Keith Lasley, yeah.
So he talked. I think Jamie went and met Keith in March time this year, and they talked about sort of where they were off the field, sort of like what I assume it was a bit of an information gathering piece. Like, what do you charge for this? What do you do here? How much does this cost you? So, and Jamie said both clubs actually, even when we were in the championship, we weren't too far away from where St Mirren were. So very strong similarities with it. I just, as we said and joked a little bit, I hope we can kind of on the field replicate almost where you guys have been as well.
Yeah, definitely think the bringing in Keith Lasley, who's kind of learned how to be a CEO under Alan Burrows, who's now at Aberdeen, has really kind of improved the club on and taken us to that kind of like next level in terms of just like overall commercialization and just building the product up.
Yeah, I mean, it is like you see, it's St Mirren, the club that you want to emulate, but certainly what they've done. I mean, Ross, it does seem, obviously, you've had Jim Goodwin, Stephen Robinson came in. It does seem like land of the giants, and that's how Robinson sets up his team. Certainly off the park, it's all going well financially, but on the park is where the real difference seems to be. And it does seem that, looking down at St Mirren's squad, it's just a big squad, and you picked from, it seems to be all over, using the markets out with the Scotland.
Yep. So I think, as with any Stephen Robinson side, he sets his team up to be hard to break down. So I know we play the three at the back, but the two can drop, be that be Declan John or Jaden Richardson, and it is almost like a 5 low block, break us down if we're under pressure, and then we can also switch to being counter pressing, attacking, getting the ball up the park. And as you're saying, we're kind of utilising the market in a very shrewd way. We're taking boys from, for example, that boy we bought in from Bolton, Dylan, I don't know if I pronounced that right. He brought him on deadline day, and it's just that kind of like lower, kind of upper League One, lower like League Two sort of clubs, taking players that have potential, bringing them in, and hopefully selling them on for a profit. That's got to be the model for a lot of clubs, especially in Scotland.
I noticed that with the nationalities when I had a look at the squad as well. So you've obviously, weirdly, a couple of Jamaican. Someone from Cyprus, a Kenyan, a French chap there, Ireland, Wales. So yeah, you're all over it. So that does show that the scouting network is working, Ross.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think a lot of people pigeonhole Stephen Robinson's team to be a lot of League of Ireland players who have came over, but that's, as you're saying, far from the truth. You've got a couple of boys who are making Jamaica internationals under Steve McLaren, Kenyans, French. Yeah, it's just the whole kind of squads. I think for Robinson, I think the main thing is just building a squad of players that he can trust. If he puts them out in the park, they're going to do a job for him. I think that's kind of what he's looking at.
Steve McLaren, Jamaica manager.
Yeah, yes, the Wally with the Brawley.
Yeah. Do you know what you put on a Jamaican that you said when he did the interview? No,
I was just about to say
someone did over a Jamaican accent over Steve McLaren, which was rather amusing. I mean, looking down your squad list, Ross, I think Shamal George, we all see him at Livingston, very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Other players that, when you're looking down at some, I think Alex Gogic always impresses, whether he's in that set in like midfield or playing centre half. Mark O'Hara, I'm very surprised he's still at St Mirren, because I think he's a really good midfielder, and I'm surprised like a Hibs or a Hearts haven't taken him.
Yeah, that's a strange one. Just going back to Gogic though, like when Robinson first pulled him out of that kind of like deep lying midfielder role into centre half, I was thinking, oh no, here we go, because he does have a bit of a rash head on him, but he's also very good at getting his body on the line. So there is that kind of like trade off of he might pick up a yellow card, he might get the odd red card, but he will at least stop a goal every single game. Mark O'Hara is another one. I mean, it's one of those ones that, do you stay and become a club legend, or do you, as you're saying, go for the money and go to Hearts, Hibs, possibly in Aberdeen, even further afield if you go down south? And I think that's maybe where he's kind of weighing up at the moment, because I think with him, as much as I wouldn't want to lose him, never would want to lose a player like that of his stature, I think it's probably reached that pinnacle of he's taken us as far as he could go. He's captained us to Europe. I think the only thing that he could do that would top that would captain us to a cup. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and then up front, I mean, like I say, it tends to be land of the Giants, especially when you've got Giants with a bit of pace. Ayunga has been really impressive, and as has obviously Miko Mandron as well, who are two players that I think will cause troubles come Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's Ayunga's one of those ones that unfortunately is a little bit inconsistent for me. His performance against Rangers was outstanding. He was running the line, he was giving John Suter an absolute horrid time. But it'll be games like Saturday where he just won't show up and he'll be a bit kind of like a little bit lost at sea. Well, exactly, yeah. But Mandron as well, you know what you're getting with Mandron. It's a big target man. You lump it forward when you're under pressure just to get out of the press, and he holds it up really well.
Yeah. It is really. I don't know if you've seen much of them, Ross Wayne, but yeah, they do look. I mean, like you say, Landon, Killian Phillips, Ross Turnbull.
Whoever signed him, get him a statue.
Yeah, is he going to be fit for the weekend?
I don't know. I think it's touch and go, in truth.
Right.
I've not actually seen too much. I mean, it'll probably come out when the managers do their pressers on match day -1. But yeah, I think Killian Phillips, hopefully, fingers crossed, should be good. If he is in the squad, I would worry because he makes us tick.
Yeah. That I have seen him, been really impressed by him. Ross Wayne, obviously we play our 4-3-3. We're going up against traditionally St Mirren will play a 3-5-2. Ross Turnbull, is that right?
Yeah, 3-5-2. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think we'll cope with that, Ross?
I think we'll cope better now that we've got a bit of a grip on the midfield. The Aberdeen game showed that. Now, granted, Aberdeen are probably not on fire on all cylinders. However, we won that midfield battle, and I was really chuffed with how we set up. So obviously we've got our Brad Spencer, Dylan Tate, and Henry Cartwright now. So that midfield really is working, and I think they will have to work even harder probably on Saturday, because I think what I have seen of St Mirren on sports scene, etc., they do love to win a midfield battle. Like, that is where the turnover, getting the two boys up front in and behind. So it's going to be a tough gig, but listen, if we're on our A game, we're at home, we should be looking to try and pick up 3 points. Every team that plays at home this year probably thinking the same. Yeah, it's where your best chance of collecting as much points as we can, but for us, it's even more probably important than some of the other teams. So yeah, win the midfield battle, keep it tight at the back, and just like Aberdeen, when we get a chance, we need to take it.
Absolutely. What do you think? How do you think you line up then, Ross?
Yep. So I think obviously injuries barring. Like, we'll start with Shamal George and goal. A back three of Fraser, Gogic and Freckleton. We'll then have Richardson and John as the wing backs. We'll have Phillips, Bacchus and O'Hara in the middle of the park. And I think he will go the two up top, Ayunga and Mandron, as you mentioned. Obviously, if there's a bit of a risk with Phillips, then it could be a different scenario. But as Ross was saying, like, it will be a battle of the midfield. Bacchus against Spencer is one kind of tussle that I think is going to be quite a highlight come Saturday afternoon.
Ross, we've obviously, we've had a lot of injuries this season, but we've obviously brought in a lot of people on loan. How do you think Falkirk line up, barring injuries?
Sorry, wrong Ross.
Well, the other Ross I'm going for. You don't know how Falkirk line up Ross Turnbull.
I think I've got a rough idea.
Ross, we'll give you a dig at it first.
Yeah, I think from the team that played Aberdeen, I think the goalkeeper, I think it's still be Scott Bain. I think will start and goals.
Yeah, it seems that he's come through. It wasn't a broken thumb, obviously, and we think
he's just kind of bruised it. I don't see any changes in the defence. If I'm being honest, if we do, then will it be the left centre half change? Because obviously we've had.
I think Hart might come in for Nielsen.
Well, that would potentially be my only thinking is the change there. I think Keelan Adams' spot's nailed on. I think Hendo's more than nailed on, and Leo McCann I don't see has done anything wrong. Obviously we have just signed, as you said, a potential left back there, but I don't think Leon McCann will be moved on. Middle of the park speaks for itself, as I said. Brad Spencer, Dylan Tate, and Henry Cartwright.
Do you think Henry Cartwright starts in that deeper position, and the Tate still sits in the 10?
I think we need to protect ourselves, and I don't imagine John, assuming it continues to do what it has been doing, I don't see John changing it too much.
Right. So do you think Arfield drops out then? Because I'm assuming you're going to put well, we don't know Wilson if he's going to make it or not, but presumably Williams goes in at left wing.
I think Williams will go in at left wing. I wouldn't be massively shocked if Arfield ended up in the 10. I know there's obviously other options there.
So then does Cartwright, does then Dylan Tate drop out?
It's a tough call. I personally would keep Dylan Tate in. He has been man of the.
Does Arfield drop to the bench?
Yeah, well, that's it. There's only 11 spots, so it's
only 11 spots, Ross. You can't have them all.
Well, we can try. But no, I think I do think Ethan Williams will make his debut at left wing. The right wing is up for grabs because obviously Calvin's not done a lot wrong, but then Kyrell Wilson came in and scored his debut against Aberdeen.
There's an injury type. We didn't mention the closed door game against Queen's Park, where Kyrell Wilson apparently limped off in that game.
Yeah, so we've not had an update. So as Ross said, the pre-match press conference that John McGlynn will give on Thursday afternoon or Friday, I think it is, will be all telling. If he has went down to Swansea or back down to Swansea for some treatment, that maybe suggests that we're not going to see him for a couple of weeks. But as I said, Calvin Miller has been like, had we not signed the right winger, I think we'd all be quite comfortable with Calvin Miller playing.
Yeah.
And I don't see Ross McKeever losing his starting spot to
Brian
just yet. Or Brian just yet. No.
Yeah, no, I think Ross has started off the season really, really well. So, yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I'll be interested to see what happens in that 10. I think that's the big question mark. Because I do think Williams will start. He apparently scored an absolute perler against Queen's Park in that closed doors game. I'll get all the details from Jim Duffy, who's doing Super Scoreboard tomorrow night. So he's in doing scoreboard. So I'll get all the details in that closed doors behind from Jim tomorrow night because he was obviously there as assistant manager. But yeah, Ethan Williams, I think he'll be a shoe-in. I mean, you don't bring someone in from Man United and they don't start, you know what I mean? So interesting. I'll be interested to see the 4-3-3 against the 3-5-2. I'm really interested to see that tactical battle, how it works out. Ross Turnbull, what do you think the score's going to be?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, given our recent run, a safe bet would be a draw. But I think possibly, I'm going to say 2-1. Ayunga and Phillips and Calvin Miller will score for you.
Oh, there you go. Give him scorers as well, Ross. Wayne.
I'm going to share the scoreline, but I think it'll be 2-1 Falkirk. If I'm pushed on scorers, if I'm pushed on scorers, I think Ethan Williams will score on his proper home debut, and I'll say Scott Arfield as well at some point.
Okay.
What's your prediction?
2-0. I won't give you my scorers. But I do think Big Ross is due a goal. So yeah, I quite fancy a 2-0. Ross, the big question for you is you're at a wedding, so I'm missing the game. Will you have your mobile phone in while the ceremony's going? That is the big question.
So the good news is I've already checked.
And will your wife boot your balls if you do?
I've checked. The ceremony's 2 till 2:45.
Right, okay.
Then drinks and pictures until 5 o'clock.
Smashing. Excellent. We're all good.
Yeah, we're fine. However, Falkirk TV will be getting watched. Yes.
However, you are a wedding full of Dunfermline supporters, so...
Yes, someone will end up turning the Wi-Fi off just to annoy me.
That's all right. They'll be watching our championship game, I'm sure, as well. Brilliant. Ross Turnbull, thank you so much for coming on, Falkirk Daft. But before you go, I didn't tell you about this bit, Ross. We are going to play our new game on Falkirk Daft. How well do you know your side?
Oh, go on then.
It works like the 5K minute. I've got 10 questions about St Mirren, Ross, and all you have to do, answer all 10. If you pass any, we'll come back to anyone you pass. You see how this game works. And you've got to beat Aberdeen, who are top of the tree at the moment. 8 points. Sheepy got that. Livingston are in second with 6 points. Stuart Barry got that. Chippy, representing Celtic, only managed 4 points. And then Dundee United are bottom of the table with 3 points.
Okay, as long as I'm not bottom, I'll be happy with that.
Right, okay. Right, we're going to put 60 seconds on a timer. Ross is going to time you out, and I've got the questions here. Are you ready, Ross Turnbull?
Yes, let's go.
Here we go. And what year did St Mirren move from Love Street to their new stadium?
2009.
In which decade did St Mirren first compete in Europe?
1940s.
Which player did St Mirren receive the record transfer fee for?
John McGinn.
Who was the manager during St Mirren's 2013 League Cup triumph?
Kenny Lennon.
Which player holds the most appearances for St Mirren?
Billy Abercrombie.
Name any of the front of shirt sponsors when Joma were kit makers.
Skyview.
How many black stripes are at the top of the St Mirren badge?
3. That's bad.
Who's the side's current vice captain?
Marcus Fraser.
Where is Peter Uminski currently on loan?
Arbroath.
Who was appointed manager after Alan Stubbs?
Orlan Kearney.
And you didn't pass any, and that is
Time.
bye.
Yep. Time.
Oh, that's all right. I'll take that.
Aye, right. I'll go through the answers that you got wrong. 2009, you absolutely nailed. It was the 1980s, first in European competition after you won the cup. Ian Ferguson went for 800,000 to Rangers.
Well, if you're talking like percentage fees, John McGinn.
Don't start that. No, not having that. Which player holds the most appearances for St Mirren? It's Hugh Murray. You've got Skyview Capital, or he could have had Digby Brown as well. Black stripes at the top of the badge.
That's a shocker.
You're not a badge kisser, Turnbull.
Nah, clearly not.
There's 5 black stripes at the top of the band. You've got Marcus Fraser. Side's current vice captain Marcus Fraser. Peter Uminski's actually on loan at Glentoran.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
According to Wikipedia. I've not
that's fair.
Yeah. And Owen Kearney, you got right. So that is 5, which puts you third in the table behind
That's all
Livingston.
right. Didn't disgrace myself apart from the badge question.
Yeah, I did terrible. Shocking. Listen, Ross Turnbull, we always say best of luck. We don't really mean it.
No,
but thank you so much for coming on Falkirk Daft. We will see you Saturday.
Thank you so much for having me, guys, and you'll get some abusive text messages Saturday afternoon.
You bet. I'll be your number blocked. No more shifts for you, Ross Turnbull. if you come at the chief here, no more shifts, right?
Exactly.
Right, Ross, don't let HR see this video.
No.
Right, okay. Thanks for coming on Falkirk Daft, Ross.
Cheers, guys.
That's us, Ross. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, pal. See you tomorrow.
Yep. See you in a bit.
Bye.
How'd that leave? How'd I leave, John?
Radio producer, bloody hell.
No, Christ.
Look at more. Go down. Or there you go.
Oh. Yep. See you in a bit.
And you're still there, Ross, so I'll just remove you. There you go. Remove.
There it is.
Right, let's just finish it up. So there you go, Ross. That is St Mirren dealt with. It's going to be interesting to see how we get on Saturday. This is the first for me. The first year Dundee United had that kind of the buzz, Flag Day, all that sort of stuff. Aberdeen was a shock and a surprise to all of us, I think. Livingston could have done better on the homework. This at home is the games that we need to be winning, though. This weekend is a game we need to be winning to set our stall if we are going to be battling down at the bottom or then kind of try to scrape into the top 6. This is the games we need to be winning.
Well, it's a home game firstly, and we need to win our home games to do what we want to do. I've been kind of humming and hawing whether St Mirren fall under the bread and butter bracket, but they probably do at home, and that's not me being disrespectful.
It's not I don't think it is. But it's like we said there, it's a club. If we have aspirations of being like St Mirren, these are the clubs that we need to be beating at home.
Yeah, totally. Because
you look around and you go, wait, when you get Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, Rangers, Celtic at home. It's like, okay, if we get a point, this is all right. But when you start looking, St Mirren, Motherwell, Kilmarnock, Dundee, you start Livingston.
No, I totally agree. So it's a huge. They're all huge games. Every game's big. We said this a couple of weeks ago as well. There's no small game this year. They're all going to mean something, and a win would be phenomenal. When you look at the stats, and I know John McGlynn definitely does, but when he said it himself after Aberdeen, 4 points we've taken. Okay, we probably hoped to have taken more from the from Livingston game, but actually 4 points from the first 3 games, he seemed quite happy with. And if you could get 3 points on Saturday ahead of this next break that we have. And we do have a big double header coming at the end of the month. That Hibs at home and Hearts away is a big 4 days. But to set ourselves up really, really well for those 2 games, 3 points would be lovely.
100%. 100%. Listen, before we go, thanks very much to our other sponsor, the Falkirk Football Fans and Training, T8s, celebrating mental health, just getting guys together, getting fit, and they've been doing it for over a decade now. They've trained down at the stadium Wednesday nights, 8:30 to 9:30, different setups. So they've got the Elite Academy and the Legends, and they've got the over 50 section as well. So get involved. All the contact details are below. Speak to Ian, Dougie, or Willie. Get in touch with them. Get sorted. Get down there. We appreciate the support on the podcast. And who knows, you might be getting involved in the inaugural Kelpies tournament, which is happening hopefully at the end of the season. And of course, you get the chance. Usually we play them in a bounce game at the end of the season. You get a chance to beat a Falkirk Daft select. I say beat, they've not beat us yet. So 2 seasons gone. So get involved with the Falkirk Football Fans and Train. If you're looking for a bit of, new friends, maybe you're fed up of your old friends, going down to the Falkirk Football and Fans and Train, get some new ones. Or, just you're looking for that mental health space. The boys are so supportive. They're all never out of hospitality, and they're a great bunch of boys. So get down. It's Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. And that is it for Falkirk Daft. Hopefully we're back here talking about our Bairns win against St Mirren. Ross is going to be stuck at a wedding. If you come on to 1876 Lounge, I will see you there. A couple of, I think Richard Cadet, you said, might be in on Saturday.
He is a guest of the club at the game on Saturdays.
Richie Cadet, stick one in the back of the net. Come on.
Indeed. I don't know if he's officially a guest in our lounge, but he is definitely coming to the game. But there are some confirmed names in the 1876 Lounge. Albert Craig, Jamie McGowan.
It's a good one. But, look out, everyone's going to be trying to get their selfie with Richie. Yeah. Everyone's going to, if you spot Richie, everyone's going to be trying to get their selfie with Richie. Top lad. Remember, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Falkirk Daft for all our updates. Merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk. You can get some snazzy Falkirk Daft gear there, or check out our collection, pintsprints.co.uk. And notes, if you want the Discord channel, get in below. If you're one of the young team, you like all that sort of stuff, Discord is your thing. The links are below. I just leave them be, Ross. I've kind of set it up and I just leave them be, and they kind of rant and rave at each other, and it's really interesting just kind of observing it all. And sometimes I have to step in and be and say, right, listen, enough of that, don't do that. But
I've not been on in a while. Is it still loads of young team?
It's all young team fighting amongst themselves and winding each other up and doing young team chat mostly. But yeah, jump on the Discord chat. It's just like a big forum for Falkirk supporters, so it's a good laugh in there. Right, we'll see you on the next one. Ross, enjoy your wedding, and until next time,
expect unexpected, one Bairns.
We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft, talking about the dark blues and having a bit of a laugh. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. You can listen in the pub or you can listen in the bath. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. For everyone who's caring about being a Falkirk Bairn, we're Falkirk Daft. We are Falkirk Daft.